Oh, hello there. What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Wow. Got distracted, guys. Got distracted with we're doing the thumbnail and the title. Is $1 enough to start buying Bitcoin? You might be surprised. You might think it's not because the price is, where's that? 60,000 today. But yeah, you can start with as little as $1. Stay tuned. I'm gonna show you how. I'll tell you how and why you should. Okay. But again, this is not financial advice. You have to make that decision on your own and do your own research. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Garrett in the house. What up, Garrett? Also, Leonard in the house. What up, Leonard? Good to see you in here. Oh my gosh. All right. So, Sat Wise Jenks in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, guys. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how you can start buying Bitcoin with just $1 and why maybe you should consider it. Okay? I forgot what a thumbnail looks like. Anyway, so let's get started with the first segment of the show. The Sat Strength. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $60,560.16. Andrew Williams in the house. What up, Andrew? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Andrew. Today, you can buy 1,651 Satoshis for a single dollar. What is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. Just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents, a Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. If you can accumulate 100 million Satoshis, either $1 at a time, $5 at a time, $10 at a time, $20 at a time, whatever you feel comfortable with, if you can get to 100 million Satoshis, you in essence have a whole Bitcoin. And on your way to accumulating that whole Bitcoin, you are reaping the benefits of holding Bitcoin, which include sovereignty. Nobody can take that away from you. Right? Include a hedge against inflation, right? As printed money depreciates, the value that you locked away in Bitcoin will appreciate against the dollar, against the local currency. Okay? So in essence, just by holding Bitcoin, that value is gaining purchasing power and making you more wealthy, getting you closer and closer to your freedom date. Okay? Let's say you're walking down the street minding your own business, you look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day you could have 16.51 Satoshis for a single penny. When Bitcoin hits $100,000 per coin, 1 Satoshi will be equal to 1 penny, 1 cent. It's wild, okay? And that might be soon. Who knows, right? All right. So, that said, that is the Sat Strength. Just like that, we're off to the races and on to the next segment that we like to call Why We Stack. It's a pretty compelling song, huh? Pretty compelling jam. Okay, we stack because, like I just said, we understand that $1 million. Oh wow. Satwise says $1 million Bitcoin equals 1 cent Satoshis. Is that right? No. Is it? Am I off? Am I off? Have I been off this whole time? I'll have to double check my math. I think Satwise might be correcting me here. I'll take your word for it, Satwise. I think you're right. I'm not good at the math. I just stack. All right, so we stack because by saving the value that you work hard for in Bitcoin, you're kind of shielding that from debasement. Because what is debasement? Debasement is a process of creating and printing more paper money, and when that paper money gets printed, it takes a little bit of the value from the existing supply to give it value. Okay? It's like diluting a bottle of wine. The more water you add to wine, it might look like you have more wine, but it becomes less potent, right? It's going to take you a lot more watered down wine to get drunk. Same thing with the pizza. If you take a pizza and you slice it up into a lot of slices so that everybody can have a slice, you end up with little tiny slices, and nobody gets satiated. They can have 100 pizza slices, but if the pizza slices are little slivers, little crumbs, then even if you eat 100 pizza slices, you can still call those little crumbs a pizza slice. You're not gonna get full. Same thing with the money. There's the paper money that's constantly being printed. No matter how much you print, no matter how much you think you can save, if that paper money keeps getting printed out of existence, then it'll take more and more of that weaker money to buy the same stuff, right? This is a Bolivarian what is it called? What is this? What kind of currency is this? This is a Bolivar. Yeah, Bolivares from Venezuela. Look at that. $500 Bolivar bill, right? And it's just paper, right? It just represents some kind of value. But the more and more you print of these, the less and less each one is worth. And eventually, you get to the point where your money is worthless. You can't buy stuff with it anymore because it's so cheap. I mean, the purchasing power has been diluted so much you can't buy stuff with it anymore. So, what is the problem there? The problem is that they can print as many as they want without restriction, an unlimited supply of bills, and those bills are not backed by anything. They're backed by, if you're lucky, like we are, I guess in the U.S., it's backed by our military, right? But for who knows how long. Okay, so what you do is you move the value that you worked hard for, you move it into Bitcoin, and that value is now in a monetary system that is incorruptible. Nobody can go in and change how much you own. Nobody can go and take it from you, and nobody can go and change the rules that govern how much Bitcoin will be in existence. With paper money, you don't know how much will ever be in existence because they can print as much as they need. All they gotta do is pass an act of Congress or decide to issue some kind of credit, but you don't know how much is gonna get printed. So it's you're playing a game where the rules are not only can be but are constantly being changed on you. Okay, you're playing Monopoly. Picture you're playing any game, right? Any game, if you're playing a board game with your family or with your friends, and it's a new game that you haven't played yet, and you get started on this game, they're telling you, okay, don't worry, just play the game, and you'll learn the game as you go, okay? And we're not going to educate you on the game, and whenever we see you starting to get ahead for whatever reason, like you're doing good in real estate, or you started a company, you started a business, and you're making money, and you're finally starting to get ahead, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, by the way, like there is a rule that you have to give us a percentage of that gain or a percentage of that prosperity you created out of your ingenuity and your creativity and your entrepreneurship. We need a cut of that because we do. Because we can change the rules because we make the rules, right? Because someone else over here isn't maybe motivated to work as hard as you have, and we want to make things fair, so we decide to take some of your prosperity that you work hard for and give it to somebody else. Or we decided that your business is too small, and you don't get a tax cut or a benefit as you would if you were a big corporation that has multiple what's it called, branch offices or stores, right? They get a special tax bracket or a special something, right? And so it makes everything unfair, and kind of kills the motivation to make things and to be prosperous, because all the extra work you do to get ahead is kind of gets sucked up by the system and redistributed for you, instead of letting you kind of reap the benefits of your work, right? So you wouldn't if you were in a game like that, if you were in any kind of board game with your friends and fam, and somebody was changing the rules on you, adding new rules, and making sure that no matter how strategic you played the game, there was always a rule there was always a rule where you lose, basically, or it makes it really hard for you to win. You'd be like, you know what? I don't want to play this game. This game is dumb, right? I feel like I'm getting manipulated, and I'm going to lose anyway. So you get disenfranchised. You get disappointed. You don't want to participate in that, right? So that's kind of the way the fiat money system works. You know, you work hard for whatever you want, for whatever you need. You trade your time for value, and then that value slowly gets leaked away from you via inflation, right? Then the only way to beat that I know of, that is doesn't involve a third party risk, which could be a bank, which could be like a brokerage. It could be if you're in real estate, it could be the state. It could be insurance. It could be your renters that live in your place. Maybe they want to take it over, or they burn it down, or they destroy it, right? When you buy Bitcoin and save in Bitcoin, there is no third party risk. Nobody can tell you, hey, I need to see that. I need to give up that Bitcoin. You have to be willing to give it up, right? And nobody can go in there and say, oh, by the way, you've had your Bitcoin for a month now. I think you need to pay the fee for maintenance, the ongoing maintenance fee. Bitcoin doesn't have an ongoing maintenance fee, right? Once it moves into your wallet, into your own custody, you are in essence in a leak-proof container, in a boat that has no leaks, and your value will be fine for a week, a day, a month, a year, 100 years, right? Because it doesn't cost anything to leave your entry in the Bitcoin ledger, right? And the Bitcoin, I guess the Bitcoin network. Once your transactions have been written to the Bitcoin network and accepted into a block and confirmed, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay anything ongoing to continue to have those things written to the block. They're already in there, right? Vice versa, you have to pay to update those, to change it, right? So by default, once you're paid, you're good to go, and your value will go nowhere, unless you decide to move it or whatever, right? I saw Bitcoin Beacon in the house. What up, Bitcoin Beacon? Good to see you in here. It's been a while. Hope all is good. Hope all is well. Do me a favor, guys. If you would so please smack that like button, and when you do, type in stacked in the chat so I know what's going on. All right. To make all that the short version of why we stack, right? Why we save in Bitcoin. We save in Bitcoin because saving in Bitcoin is like giving yourself a continuously increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold the Bitcoin that represents those hours. Okay? That's as plain and simple as I could say it. And now let's get to the main topic of the show, I guess, which is $1 enough to start buying Bitcoin? And based on the intro to the show, it is. Okay? Because we're going to go back and give us a little bit of extra time to talk about what a Satoshi is. Okay? I know most of you guys already know, but if somebody's new to the show, I want them to understand this piece, because this is the most important part. You don't need to have $60,000 to get started with saving in Bitcoin. Okay? You don't save up to buy a Bitcoin. You save in Bitcoin. Okay? That's a huge, huge, huge step. A huge thing you need to understand. So, like we said in the past, and I run through that intro, right? But a sat, which is what we stack here in the show, a fraction of a Bitcoin, it's called a Satoshi. Just like a dollar is called a penny, but it's still US dollars, right? A penny is still part of the US dollar system. A nickel, a dime, a quarter, that's all still USD, right? Well, in Bitcoin, we have a Bitcoin and we have a Satoshi. Some people call them bits, but I kind of came up. I got into Bitcoin when Sats or Satoshis. That's the first name I learned for naming the smallest denomination of a Bitcoin, and the smallest denomination of a Bitcoin is 0.7 zeros and the 1. So it's 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin is a Satoshi. On the show here and in most places, when people say Sats, that's what they're referring to. They're referring to the smallest denomination of a Bitcoin. So in other words, the penny of a Bitcoin. So the Satoshi of a Bitcoin, the Sat. Okay. And here, it's this little diagram here, or this little statistic here, is showing us that at the current price of Bitcoin at $60,668.22, for $1, you can buy 1,648 Satoshis, which is 0.00001648 Bitcoin. You see how much easier it is to just say to just say 1,648 Satoshis than it is to say, oh, I have 0.00001648 Bitcoin. No, it's easier to just say 1,600 Satoshis. Okay, that is the way we think about it. Okay, and there is nothing special about getting. I mean, there is something about getting to 1 Bitcoin. Okay, 1 Bitcoin is not its own coin. It's not its own currency. I'm sorry, it's not its own thing. It is just an accumulation of 100 million Satoshis. If you have 900,000 Satoshis, 900 million Satoshis, you have like 0.9 Bitcoin, right? And if you have 110 million Satoshis, then you have 1.1 Bitcoin, right? It's just a different way of saying it to make it easier. Just like you would say, oh, how much is that car? That car is it's going for 80K, right? Okay, 80,000, 80K, right? Same thing. 1 Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis. So instead of saying, oh, how much does that cost? It gets easier to just say 1 Bitcoin if something costs 1 Bitcoin, right? Or if a house, say like you're trying to buy a house, right? And a house costs, I don't know, $600,000. You say, oh, how much is that house? Oh, it's 10 Bitcoin. Okay, well, it's 10 Bitcoins. Instead of saying 600 million Satoshis, right? Anyway, so the point is that when you look at this price, you might think to yourself, well, I can't afford a whole Bitcoin, so how am I going to do that? Well, like I said before, the Satoshis are still fractions of a Bitcoin, so they still count as Bitcoin. You're just buying basically pennies of a dollar, okay? And so with that, you can start, depending on the exchange you sign up with. I like to use Strike right now, and I don't think there's a minimum buy on Strike. Let me check. Hold on, let me check real quick. I've never bought less than $10 in Strike, so let me see. And also stay tuned because we're going to actually do a buy here on the show. We do a buy here every Monday through Friday. Oops. Let's see. Where are we? Come on. There it is. Buy. Can I buy $1? I can. I can buy $1 on Strike. Interesting. Yeah. All right, cool. That's pretty good. Let me put my link in here if you're new to the show. If you haven't already signed up with Strike, there's a link in the chat to sign up if you haven't already. It's a good way. It's a good place to buy. All right. So, yeah, that's you can start with as little as $1. What I would recommend is you start learning about Bitcoin. You watch or listen to the audiobook of that's called Inventing Bitcoin if you want to understand how it actually works. Oh yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about the music. And then you also do a once through of maybe the Bitcoin Standard book. It's free on YouTube. And if not, you could also do the quick version of it to get a good basic understanding of why you should be saving in Bitcoin by looking up Michael Saylor's BTC Prague 2023 presentation. Probably one of the best orange pilling things that you can have somebody listen to or watch for the first time. It's really good. Satwise Jang says 100 sats is a bit. So instead of dollars and cents, we'll have bits and sats. Oh, that's cool. So a sat is a single unit, and a bit is 100 sats. Okay. Strike minimum is 1 cent hourly. Let's go. That's awesome. That's awesome. Are you doing that? I should start doing that. How much does that come out to? It's 24 cents a day, right? That's awesome. So all kinds of transactions going on right there. I don't know how Strike deals with UTXOs, especially since it's a non-custodial wallet. Okay, so Andrew makes a great point, and this is the great segue into the next part of what we're going to talk about, and that is custody of your Bitcoin. Okay, so think of it this way: if you went to a different country and you were going to exchange some of your money for the local currency, would you go to that exchange house, exchange your money for the local currency, and then leave it there? Right? Or would you go to that exchange house, exchange your home money for the local currency, and then take that local currency off of the exchange and put it in your wallet? Right? That's the same thing you have to think about in terms of Bitcoin. Okay? Different exchanges will have different restrictions as far as like how often you can withdraw your funds. Like sometimes it takes a couple of days for it to clear from your bank. Sometimes it takes 10 days. Sometimes it could, depending on what level you're at, you could withdraw it instantly, right? But what Andrew's referring to is when you buy on Strike or any other exchange, including Coinbase, including what else can you still buy? Swan, River. Any one of those exchanges, it's just a way for you to exchange your paper money for Bitcoin. It's not your Bitcoin until you move it to your own wallet that you have the keys for and you control the keys for. Once you move it there, then yes, now you have that leak-proof container of wealth that will help you just kind of hold your sats for as long as you need, without costing you any money to just hold them. Okay, that's what people hodl. Anyway, so if you're watching this replay and you have questions, it's understandable. There's a ton of resources available on YouTube on walkthroughs and everything. But I understand that sometimes people have questions, even though there could be a very detailed walkthrough that already exists. Some people still get stuck on little things and they can't find the answer to that thing and they get frustrated and just give up. If you're one of those people and you need help setting up your wallet, setting up your storage solution, or even understanding how Bitcoin works, how to make your first transfer, how to make your first transaction, that kind of stuff, hit me up in the comments here, or you can hit me up in the chat, or you can leave a comment on this video and I will answer your specific question in the next episode. And if you tune in live while we're doing the show, I'll take the time to actually go through and kind of give you an example of what I think you're trying to do to kind of coach you through that section. Okay. I'm not charging any money for that. And I just want to make sure that somebody new to Bitcoin doesn't make a mistake and lose Bitcoin or lose money, and also sour their perspective of Bitcoin because they weren't familiar with the technology enough and they made a mistake. Okay, so I'm trying to save you that initial Bitcoin mistake of maybe sending it to the wrong address, or not copying the address correctly, or typoing the address that you're sending to or from. So I started sending to. So anyway, hit me up. And if you don't see me on here live and you can't for whatever reason you can't comment, but you want to jump into our Discord server, we do have a Discord server. We don't do anything in there but hang out, talk about stuff that's like productive, like gardening and homesteading, I guess you could say, and Bitcoin. And we don't talk about trading Bitcoin. We don't talk about poop coins. We don't talk about ordinals or wizards or any of that kind of crap. It's Bitcoin only, no yield products, and keeping it real. Keeping it real. Bitcoin only, stacking sats, DCAing, and taking custody of your coins, taking custody of your stack. Okay, all right. So that is a long version of why we stack. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for tolerating that for me, guys. I know you guys already know that, but in case somebody new shows up, I want them to understand that we are here to help them, not here to beat up on them, because the more people we can help understand Bitcoin, it's going to multiply. The more people they'll be able to explain Bitcoin to, and they'll be able to say, hey, you know what? I was on there. I was a skeptic at first. I didn't understand it. I looked into it for 10, 15 minutes, and I got curious. I kept looking at it. I bought some. Said, what the hell? I'm going to buy some. And I don't know, 3 or 4 months later, I'm up about 20%, and I can't figure out what's wrong with it. So I'm going to start investing more into it, and I'm going to start learning more about it. And honestly, the more you understand about Bitcoin, the more you learn about Bitcoin, the more convicted you become. It's just you start to open your eyes and understand how the money works, how the paper money works, and then you realize, God damn, the real issue here is not to invest what you feel like you're okay with losing. It's only keep as much paper money as you're okay with getting debased on. Right? That's the fact right there. Satwise says, good man, Remy, keep spraying the orange. Nice, dude. Thanks so much for the encouragement. But yeah, the more you look at it, the more you start to understand it. You start to become like, yeah, because initially I was a skeptic, guys. I wanted to figure out what's wrong with it. I wanted to figure out the scam here, right? Especially coming from like poop coins, right? I did my poop coining days were not long, but I did do some poop coin activity before I went all Bitcoin. And it's kind of part of, like, I guess it's part of the growing process. I can't let he who has not poop coined throw the first orange. Let he who has not poop coined cast the first stone. But yeah, I didn't get burned. Thank heaven on my poop coining days, right? I actually made out pretty good, but it was a risk. It was a risky move, right? And I knew it was kind of a little bit of a gamble, right? And I happened to time it okay, but most people don't time it okay. Most people don't know when to get out, right? And they don't understand that that's all like manipulated and set up to control your emotions and make you like feel fear and feel greed feel fear and feel greed at the wrong times. So you buy when you shouldn't buy and you sell when you shouldn't sell. So we avoid all that stuff here on the show by stacking regularly a fixed amount that we say we're going to stack on a fixed frequency. That way, if the price of Bitcoin goes up, we buy. If it goes down, if it goes up, if it goes down, we buy. If it goes up, we buy. If it goes sideways, we buy. And we're not stressing about it. You know, I come to the charts, I get the stream up and running. I check what the price is going to be. I turn on this little meter back here so I can see the price in the background, make it look cool, so I can have an ongoing counter during the show, so you can see what the context of the conversation was in the future based on the price of Bitcoin. And and I buy the stack for the day. You know, I buy my stack that's on the side for like my private stack. And I move on with my life. I don't have to sit at the computer watching the chart, hoping that I catch it when it dips for like a split second, right? Or cringing that hopefully if it does dip, it doesn't hit my stop loss, and it goes back up, right? But what will usually happen? You go and you buy some Bitcoin, you think you're at a good price, and they drop it on you. It goes super low for like a week or two. And you're like, dang it. And the whole time for like a week or two, you're thinking, shoot, I should sell before it goes down further, right? And you're like, okay, if it goes down past this point, I'm just going to sell and get back in lower, right? So then it goes down. It hits that point of pain for you, your capitulation point, and you sell your stack, or you sell those sats that you bought because you think it's going to keep going down, and you get back in and get cheaper sats, right? Make your money back. And so you do that. And then it dips for that split second. It hits your stop loss. It takes you out of the trade. You realize your losses. And then it shoots up past where you bought it in the first place. Now you're like, damn it, I'm going to miss out on this epic run. and then you get back in higher than you got in the first time, thinking that this time it's for real. This time it's gonna go for up forever from here, and they do it to you again. They drop you back down. They trap you at the top, and they wait for you to set your stop loss. And once you set your stop loss, they come for it again, and you're out of the trade again. You once again bought high and sold low, right? But Andrew's right there. Round of applause for Andrew. Rule number 1: never sell your Bitcoin. Exactly. Rule number 2: don't trade Bitcoin. Right? Anyway, just sharing the stories, just because if you're new, you're going to be tempted to do that, okay? Also, if you're new, another temptation might be to feel like you're going to get more value, more of a certain kind of coin if you buy a different kind of coin. It's all crypto, right? No, it's not. There's crypto and there's Bitcoin. Everything that's not Bitcoin is a scam in one way or another, okay? It's a way for them to make you feel like you're getting more value by giving you more coins for the same amount of dollars, okay? So you say like, okay, for $1, I'm going to get 0.0001647 Bitcoin. Or for that same dollar, I can get like a million SHIB or a million of this other random coin. And it feels better to have a million of something than it does to have 0.0001643 of something. Even though the Bitcoin is a better asset, right? Because all the other coins, the supply can get manipulated, and they can do the same thing they're doing to you with the dollar or with the paper money. They can debase you, okay? They can change the rules on you. They can seize it on you. They can freeze it on you. They can make you... Anyway, it's not worth it. So, it's not worth the risk anyway. You have third-party risk and all the stuff that Bitcoin doesn't have. So, all right, I know I got a little tangent either. Went off a little bit crazy in all directions, but I was trying to think what I would say to somebody that's new to Bitcoin and that's starting on their journey. Oh yeah, the point of that little side rant was that if you start buying coins on for example on Coinbase. Coinbase is set up to be like a I'm just gonna say it like a shitcoin casino, right? You go in there, you send somebody over to Coinbase to buy Bitcoin, and they get distracted by all the BS coins out there, and they have a little education system where I say, hey, if you learn about this coin, we're going to give you so much of this coin and so much of that coin and so much of this coin. And you're like, oh, that's cool. That sounds cool. That sounds cool. And next thing you know, you have all these poop coins in your account, right? And you're thinking that you're DCAing and stuff, and you're building something, and you're buying all these trash coins that are going to just basically lose value over time. When what you should have been doing is taking those resources and putting them into Bitcoin, because even though your altcoin might come up a little bit, you still lost in terms of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin would have gone up more most of the time. In times of crisis, people will sell whatever they can. Stay solvent, my friends. That's true. That's very true. Hard hodl. All right. So that is why we stack. Sorry, that was a good one. That was a long one. All right, let's get out of this depressing music, and let's jump into the stack recap. Stack recap, because we don't only talk about stacking sats here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We also stack sats. Oh yeah, we actually do it. I'm trying to bring up the spreadsheet. There it is. We started stacking sats here on the show back in May. Was it May 22nd, 2023? We started stacking $5 a day. That first stack that we did on day one of the show over a year ago, that $5 we set aside is now worth, that $5 that we set aside bought us 18,000 Satoshis. Okay? Today, those 18,000 Satoshis that we paid $5 for are now worth $10.98 at today's price of Bitcoin. Okay? That's been in about a year. Okay, so we've doubled. We have 100%. We have at least 100% that purchase. Okay. The next day we bought again. We bought $5. We bought $10 actually, and those have also doubled. Okay. So overall, I'm not gonna take you through each one step by step, but let's see. This is a big buy on November 7th, we bought a $1,000 stack. That $1,000 stack got us 2.8 million Satoshis, and now those 2.8 million Satoshis are worth 1,713 bucks, right? But we're not phased by these numbers here, the numbers of what the perceived gain or loss or whatever. What I'm excited about is that our count, the number of Satoshis we have in our possession, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 265 million Satoshis. 265 million Satoshis. In other words, 0.265902891 Bitcoin. That is what the show has in its possession at this point. We've accumulated that Bitcoin through different methods. For the most part, we accumulated most of it through daily stacking, like we're about to do today. We also had a session where we did 100 stacks challenge, where we stacked in Bitcoin for 100 days straight without stopping. And I'm thinking about redoing this challenge, doing it again, doing another session of this challenge. I should have been doing it while the price was dipping, but I couldn't get I couldn't figure it out. But I might do this again. And then I've also been stacking on the show. I've also been stacking on the show by doing what we call liberating Satoshis, but in Operation Flipping Sats. I take stuff that I have lying around the house that I haven't used in a long time, and I just put it on OfferUp or whatever selling site I can find. And I sell the thing, maybe, sometimes, for less than I think it should go for the sake of just getting that liquidity and buying the Satoshis immediately. As soon as I sell the item, I stack that money into Satoshis or Bitcoin. And so far, so good. It's been paying off. The only one that hasn't paid off so far is the purchase I did on the 21st. And that one is down about $5, only like $4.50, but still, for the most part, everything else is up. This sewing machine, I had originally listed it for $90. The person lowballed me for I think they wanted to pay me like $70 or $60. And I was like, you know what? I'll drop it $10. I'll give it to you for $80 if you want to take it. And she said, sure, she'll take it for $80. And now it kind of, just by the virtue of buying Satoshis with that money, I'm at the price I wanted to sell it for anyway, right? Plus, I gained 147,000 Satoshis, right? So all these numbers and all these purchases from the 100 Stacks Challenge are all added up together to show the full holding for the StackSats show bag. I guess our stack, our bag, our account, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's it. That's a stack. The rules for stacking are as follows. When the price of Bitcoin is above our average buy price, which is today is $59,981, we do a single stack, which is $20. When it's below, we do a double stack, which is $40. And when it's below our all-time lowest purchase in 2024, which is $39,237 Bitcoin, we do a quadruple stack. So today, since the price of Bitcoin is above our average buy price, we're going to do a $20 stack. All right? All right. So now that we know how much Bitcoin we're going to buy today, there's only one thing left to do. It's time to stack some sats. Let's go. Let's do it. Come back. There you are. Hello there. All right. Buying. Queuing up. I'm queuing it up on Strike. $20. Next, I'm going to cut the music and start the drum roll. Here it goes. Confirm. Purchase is in process. There it is. Just like that, we've stacked an additional $20 worth of value into Bitcoin. Let's put on this jam that signals that we stacked, and now we get to chill. All right, we're chilling, and I'm going to update the spreadsheet with today's buy. Let's go. See what that does to our numbers here. 8, 13, 24. Today's price was $61,153.30 for the price of Bitcoin. You know, we saved $40 worth of. We saved $40 by buying Bitcoin with it. We got 0.0003239 Bitcoin. In other words, we got 32,394 Satoshis to our stack. All right, so let's copy this information to the sheet. That's the whole lifespan of the show. Right here at the bottom. Boom. And I've been tracking every purchase on the show on this spreadsheet, which you guys can check out if you want to by typing in !SAT sheet, SATSHEET. Is it EET? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. That stack brings us to a grand total of 0.26622681 Bitcoin. And you know, it's creeping up, guys. It's creeping up. We were celebrating getting to 0.25 Bitcoin, and now we're at 0.26 Bitcoin, right? We're making that thing turn. We're adding slow and steady, keep adding to it, right? And anyway, I'm not sure if we covered this, but for the lifespan of the show, we're up about 43%. In 2024, are we up or down? Oh, we're up. We're back up to 9%. That's good. And who knows what Bitcoin's gonna do, guys? You know, nobody can tell you that Bitcoin's gonna go up or down. We just know that historically, for the lifespan of Bitcoin, if you look back at any given 4-year window, if you can hold that Bitcoin for longer than 4 years, you're basically in the positive. So just keep stacking, slow and steady. Okay, we can't guarantee that Bitcoin's gonna go up forever, but we can guarantee that they're gonna keep printing, or something like that. As long as they keep printing and issuing debt, the system will continue to be broken, and Bitcoin will continue to gain value against paper money. Okay, for all the reasons we talked about today in the show. If that's confusing to you, and you kind of starting to grasp it, but you have specific questions that you need me to help you kind of clarify, ask. Put it in the comment. I'll make a video specifically for that. I'll do the next show about that topic to help explain it. If you want to learn how to set up your multi-sig wallet, how to set up a single wallet or a single sig wallet, how to set up your how Bitcoin works, how to make your first Bitcoin transaction, how to set up an exchange, how to get the Bitcoin from the exchange to your wallet, how to set up a soft wallet, how to set up a hard wallet, what the differences are. Any questions about Bitcoin, storing it, using it, leave it in the comments, guys. Help me out. Help me help you. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me put on the music first. Here we go. We're supposed to go to Q&A, but I think this is a good show. It's a good stopping point. I feel like we accomplished a lot today. We stacked. We had some fun. I love seeing you guys in the chat. Statwise, Andrew, Hard Huddle, Leonard, Bitcoin Beacon. We even got a Bitcoin Beacon today. Garrett's been coming in here dropping some straight knowledge on the first comment of the evening. So I appreciate that, Garrett. I'm gonna read it out loud just so people get it. Not many regrets in life, but not stacking Bitcoin sooner is definitely one of them. But it's not too late for anyone to start today. Took the words out of my mouth. Great sentiment to close the show out on. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the StackSat Show. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking.